Hello, and thank you for listening to this presentation. The subject considers the use of feature film as direct data. This is a different way of thinking about and using film in qualitative research. Sometimes it can make it clearer to say what something is not. It's not a film review or a discussion of the film from a film studies perspective or from a cultural studies perspective. This is a way of using film which is theoretically led. We use film in this way to develop leaders. It can be a very quick way to understand, visualize, and feel someone else's experience. In our papers published to date, we've concentrated on films which are based on real-world people who've lived these ideas over a long period of time. We can all learn and deepen our understanding of specific topics by referring to data drawn from watching a film that may only last an hour and a half or 2 hours. I've included a few references from our published paper on this slide, which, if you're interested, you can take a look at later in your own time. In this instance, the published paper concentrated on a single film and an enterprise that was set up and run by one female entrepreneur. This paper was written with Dr. Elizabeth King and Dr. Leila Branicki. It analyses entrepreneurialism, gender and film. The method has been used in relation to a second paper referencing the film The Life of a King, with Dr. Elizabeth King and Professor David Rooney. It examines leadership coaching in the context of socially disadvantaged young adults. The methodology has also been included within a book chapter written together with Dr. Elizabeth King and Professor David Rooney on systemic coaching, using the film Rabbit Proof Fence as direct data. In the current project, the subject again is entrepreneurialism, leaders, gender and film, and it takes a look at a much wider range of films produced over a longer period of time. A few examples are in this slide. At the start of the process for writing the paper on joy, the three of us watched the film individually. We then analysed each different scene, which we divided up depending on its location. Then we looked at dialogue. We made notes and took observations, looking at considering music, sound, colours, wardrobe, makeup. Made lots of different notes, observations, and obviously we concentrated on the dominant theme of that scene. Later we came together to discuss what we'd found in the data, and where we had shared points of view and commonalities, we further developed these. This is what led us to our findings and our conclusions for the paper. We shared our observations using Excel spreadsheets where we noted all our points and pooled our common observations. Our findings were drawn from these shared observations. For this project, I extended the method and repeated it across a much wider range of feature films, all with female entrepreneurs whose enterprises were still successful at the close of each film. I looked at feature films that had been produced over the last 30 to 40 years. I give a couple of examples below. Sunshine Cleaning, Waitress, and The Intern. We obtained results and findings and demonstrated the way in which gender intersects with entrepreneurialism and the way film captures these themes. The analysis can surface multiple aspects of entrepreneurialism that otherwise would have remained invisible or unnoticed. Using phenomenology, we can also quantify the data, noting how many scenes take place in the workplace, how many at home, for example. This approach offers a way of using film and the data derived from the film as a qualitative and quantitative research method. The method is applicable to a wide range of fields, here entrepreneurialism, female leadership and business. The only limitation of the methodology is that we can only analyse the feature films that have already been produced. In this regard, it can often be helpful to extend the context to series produced for television. And before closing, I'd like to thank Liz King and Martha Whitfield for their feedback on earlier versions of this presentation. Thank you.